This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD Show.
You are listening to the #1 ranked technology podcast on SoundCloud this week. Again. The one and only ITintheD Show. This is episode 147, just 1 week past our 3-year anniversary. We have a rock star lineup of guests. Second segment.
A little bit of chaos and shuffling with said lineup of guests, but it's all worked out well.
We were supposed to have the runner-up from American Idol on, but...
she is now confirmed and rescheduled for July 11th.
But now we have Matt Chaplin here from Own the Play, going to be talking about fascinating stuff about online gaming, the whole fantasy football thing online. It should be a great conversation.
Dungeons and Dragons for guys who used to beat up guys who play Dungeons and Dragons. Got it. Yeah.
And we have Travis here, the proprietor of SourcePoint Press, friends of probably half the shows on our network, going to be talking comic publishing and all the good things that come along with comic publishing. And Dave, you may fire
exactly.
when...
If it's not SourcePoint, it's Casey on every show on our network. So yeah.
Dave, you may fire when ready.
Here we go.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, ITintheD, it works every time.
You're listening to the ITintheD Show.
Hi, it's Count Chocula, and you're listening to ITintheD. Whatever the hell that is.
Just where do you guys think you are? The Library of Congress? Detroit? Beyond the sun?
Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything with that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
Dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to ITintheD.
So what happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly.
Come on. Tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to ITintheD Show. Wax on, you know what.
Bob loves it in the can.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zabka. Sweep the leg. Listening to ITintheD Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to ITintheD.
Yes, Sensei!
Are we at a break yet?
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to ITintheD. All you nerds out there.
Nerds? Nerds.
Nerds!
What is a nerd? I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump. The ITintheD Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear? I'm in my underwear. Hey, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
That's why I like it in the can.
Which kind of scares the shit out of me.
Shut up, Barry.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd, fellow podcaster. My favorite podcast is ITintheD.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
It's just too big. It's way too big.
We got screwed at the same time.
Yeah. Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
This is Robert Hayes, the Ted Striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the ITintheD Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the ITintheD Show. Tough guy. Ho!
My name is Michael Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man. You're listening to ITintheD. Com.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
You are listening to the number one ranked technology podcast on SoundCloud this week. The one and only, often imitated, never duplicated. This is the IT and the D Show. We are broadcasting live here in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. I almost said Ferndale.
So close.
Oh, we're only 2 weeks out of that studio, and I'm already saying it. This is episode 147. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find us online, ITintheD.com. Give us a like on the Facebook. Follow us on the Twitter. Shout out to Randy and Ian out in the Twitter lands. Who'll be filling us in with links and whatnots and stuffs. And do us a favor, if you are on iTunes, please leave us a review and hit the subscribe button. We don't ask for much. And soon we'll be having to do that with Stitcher since our ad firm bought Stitcher.
Acquired.
Yeah. Which should be fun. The podcasting world's getting fun. And don't forget, we are on Google Play also from your PC or your mobile. And subscribe on Android.com. You can get our feed from there. So there's everywhere good fine podcasts are sold.
But before we get started, I'm going to talk about Atlassian software. If you've never heard of it before, Atlassian basically helps companies build and dream and basically do anything you need to for a collaboration DevOps type environment. I use pretty much all of Atlassian's product at work, right? So I'm always in HipChat. I've got HipChat on my phone. I've got it on my Mac. I do all of my bugs in Jira. I write all my articles in Confluence. Basically, everything I all do the release at work. management's in it. Yep. I think my company basically is possibly a shareholder at Atlassian. I'm not sure, but we use it. So basically, if you're building software as a team, Jira basically helps you keep your bugs straight, right? So you can assign, track, and manage your tasks, your bugs. That's basically what Jira does, and it's a really great way for you as a team to easily see all the things like all your work product and your sprints and things like that. Prioritize what's open, what's closed, what's attached to a release already. That very, very cool stuff. Yeah, exactly. And then why use a wiki when you've got something like Confluence? Basically, it's a super good collaboration tool for you to organize and to write and to document. Basically, all of my enterprise documentation is in Confluence at work. Yep. So it's like, quick, go grab that Confluence article. And then HipChat, basically imagine a place that's full of memes and happiness and allows your team to collaborate in real time. It's like a big, awesome chat room for all of your work folks. And we use it as such. So it's a super great product. And there's without the annoying guy going ASL every 15 minutes. Actually, I do that. 33/m/Detroit.
That guy's still there.
There's also Bitbucket, which allows you to test, review, and manage code in real time. So that is Atlassian's Power Suite. Visit Atlassian.com. That's Atlassian.com. Find out how Jira, Confluence, HipChat, and Bitbucket, basically anything your DevOps team could ever need to organize, discuss, and complete your work together as a team. So Atlassian helps teams everywhere team up to create what's next. So visit them, Atlassian.com, and thanks for your support.
Cool. Awesome. And by the way, we got two awesome guests lined up. Matt Chatlin's in the house from Own the Play. This guy, the story's fascinating. He's played 6 million hands of poker. He just basically rewrote how fantasy sports going to be done online. We're going to get waist deep into this, and I can't wait to talk about that. I think
you're saying we get wasted. I'm like,
no, waist deep. And then last but not least, we got Travis here from Source Point Press talking about comic publishing, properties of comic publishing, and
cemented and sad, but social.
Right, and all those things done related. But you know who I feel sorry for this week? One of our
which direction are we going?
One of my favorites.
Oh, do I have some anger?
So if you ever say like, who do you want to have lunch with, or who would you like to hang out with, and but for me now it's like it always was between the whole Vince Vaughn, Jon Favreau, or between Ari Gold and John Cusack, right? And Mr. John Cusack, I believe he was at Philly WizardCon this week. And you know how
wasn't he out at Niagara?
On the East Coast. Either I don't know if it was Niagara or if it was the Philly one. Yeah. It was on the East Coast. And you know how they like team up and they put like you next to someone else, and usually like they put Ming and Mike together because they were from Comic Book Men, or they put like a couple guys from Walking Dead together.
Right.
So John Cusack's there, and there wasn't anyone to pair him up with. So guess who his pair was? Chewbacca Mom.
What?
This con signed Chewbacca Mom.
What?
To sign autographs for $20 a piece.
So what, is she going to sit there behind the counter and just
So apparently
toilet.
is the con like, and we talk about like, why is this person here, right? But typically they were in like a movie or
yeah, exactly. Even if you're like, we've joked about it. Like apparently all you have to do is take a crap on a Walking Dead episode,
right,
and you're set for life. You can just tour the con circuit forever and you're good.
I've been sending videos to the Walking Dead producers for years now to be that guy to take a crap,
to be the zombie pooper.
Look how well I crap.
Right, exactly. Zombies have
it's an art.
Zombies have to poop, and I just want to get my head sliced off while I'm pooping, leaning up on a tree. That's all I ask for. Every show
and then contour.
Every show goes to poop. By the way, it's inevitable. I think at this point,
I'm a little confused. What is Chewbacca Mom? I saw this on the Facebooks and the Twitters, but is it like Peter Mayhew's mother?
Oh no!
It's a woman on YouTube that bought like this toy mask. And she did like an unveiling. Do you ever see like the guy that goes the damn for like Five Guys, and he does like the review of the burger while he's sitting in the car? Oh. So she did a review on this mask, and she puts it on, and as your mouth moves, the thing hooks to your chin, and it goes like Chewbacca, and then she starts laughing.
I go again.
Holy shit!
And then she starts laughing, and then the video goes on and on. That's all it is, right? And apparently she got on like Conan O'Brien, every night talk show. She's been like,
so it's like a YouTube star,
sort of thing. And like 200 million views on
she's this
YouTube.
year's Leave Britney Alone is what she is.
Wow. The mask went from $30, which you could buy at Amazon, to now $150 at Amazon.
It's back down to $60 because I looked. My kid's birthday.
It's back down again.
Yeah, it's $60, but it's still $60.
And with any luck, that is the only con that she will ever be at in her life, not buying a ticket.
But like,
good for her, man. Strike while the iron's hot.
I wonder if they paid her to come to that show. How many Chewbacca masks do they have to give her?
But here's the thing. Like, who sits there and goes, I got to have her autograph, and then you have it in your house, and like, what is it? Chewbacca Mom. Like, what's that?
And then you've got the Travises of the world that come over and go, who?
Right.
Dude, in 3 months, the entire world is going to say who.
It's scary because I've done like 30 cons this year already. It's kind of sad.
But is she going to be like in the like Tron guy and Star Wars
Numa
kid, Numa guy? Like now that those guys are all like in their mid-30s, right? No,
Tron guy's a little.
Tron guy, yes. I'm talking Numa guy and Star Wars kids out of college. They were saying.
He's got to be, yeah.
But like Numa guy's got to be in his. But regardless, does this lady go down in that infamy as one of these like?
I guarantee she has a Wikipedia page. Let me check this out. Hold on.
And her name's Chewbacca Mom. It's like,
does she put that on her resume now?
I'm Chewbacca Mom.
Was Chewbacca
dude,
Mom?
She has a Wikipedia page.
Of course,
Chewbacca Mask Lady.
Oh God, what does it say?
It's longer than my Wikipedia page.
Early career, filmography. Like,
okay, question 1: who in the ever living hell created her Wikipedia page?
Her dad.
Question 2: other than us, who in the hell goes to Chewbacca Lady's Wikipedia page?
I'm sorry.
Oh, mother of God! No, just make it stop. Like it's that nonsense that gets people so fed up with. Like, imagine being the person who dropped $80 on a ticket to go to that con, and you're like, really?
Did she have VIP passes for pictures with the mask on?
Oh, yeah, that'd be even better. Did they have the special VIP fast
I got to wear the mask.
Smells like sweat and Cheetos. Oh, I love it. It's so good.
It's John Cusack.
She got sitting next to John Cusack. I get that look on his face, like from High Fidelity, just like, just kill it. Just having to listen to Jack Black all day. It's probably worse for him because she knows she's.
If I only had all the weaponry on me that I had in Grosse Pointe Blank,
yeah, exactly.
The world would never hear about Chewbacca Mama ever again.
And you know what? This week, another weird thing happened where. And I don't get, like, I always try to get in the boardrooms, right? And this was the one that killed me. The billboard for X-Men, right? The new one that had.
Oh yeah, no, I just queued the Godfather music because I'm gonna flip my shit on this one.
That had Apocalypse choking Mystique, and the planet came unglued. And you take it because I'm.
Okay, so we have a superhero movie. We've all seen superhero movie. We know how the Marvel movies go. There's action, there's violence, there's danger, there's bad things that happen to characters. Nobody went and lost their shit when, like, Kitty Pryde got stabbed in Days of Future Past. Nobody went and lost their shit when, Mystique got shot in Days of Future Past, or all the other bad things that have happened in every effing movie from the dawn of time up until now. But now there's a billboard with Apocalypse choking Mystique, and suddenly Marvel has to issue an apology because of violence against women.
They're blue. It's not like you're looking at it. It's like Cookie
It's not
Monster
like Rebecca Romijn or Jennifer Lawrence was up there as her getting the life choked out of
Rebecca
her.
Romijn,
Romaine Lettuce, whatever the hell her name is. Stamos. I'm still calling her Stamos. Like who the hell know? Like what in the ever? Like who wrote that letter?
Can we make a billboard? We have enough. We have a couple bucks where we pitch together and start a Kickstarter and get Cookie Monster choking Grover and like hashtag Blue Lives Matter.
No, it can't be Grover. Stop blue on blue crime.
Stop blue. Like who looks at that and gets offended? And I get it. You're like, so you're making it, but like, what happens when Wonder Woman kills
a movie? Did anybody lose their shit when Doomsday launched Wonder Woman across the Russell Industrial Center? No.
But they're not looking. They're not at the force to look at it while they're eating their coffee at Starbucks and shit.
I friggin' hate people, dude. That was my absolute. That was my aneurysm moment of the week. Like that's the one where I looked at it and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
There's people walking around the street going, I'm offended. Like, I'm going to tweet about it.
You know what?
Offended. And there's
Don't go see the movie.
I'm offended about you being offended. They would never go see the movie anyway.
They'll go see the movie.
There's no way, humanly possible, the people that are pissed off about that are never going to see the movie. I barely got to go see the movie, let alone you that are offended by two characters you have no clue who even they are.
Was it any good?
I didn't see it yet. I got kids. I haven't seen Captain America. I feel like I'm slacking in this world because like I got little kids, man.
I do too.
I haven't
seen
it. It's end of season for soccer tournaments. I'm in soccer dad hell. I'm like, and I keep bugging my wife like, and we got a baby too. So like, can I go take the kids to see X-Men? She's like, yeah, I gotta take them to see that. So I got to deal with that crap.
I think not to play devil's advocate or
please do
or anything. I don't want to because I tend to agree. But just for
shits and giggles, here we go.
A slightly different take on that whole thing. I do think that people in general have sort of forgotten that like you being offended isn't necessarily like this big bad thing.
Nobody cares.
Like well, it's not even that nobody cares. It's that. So
what's wrong with being offended?
Yeah, for me as a publisher, I don't. Again, I'm not Disney. I'm not Fox. I'm not this gigantic megalith who's trying to please. Yes. I mean, tomorrow's coming soon, less than 24 hours away. But I would like to think that if that did happen, I would say, maybe I'm trying to make a statement with this billboard because at the end of all of this guy who's doing this despicable act, he loses, right? And that's the takeaway here.
See, and that should have been Marvel's response.
Yeah, I think it was Fox, though, not Marvel.
Was it
Fox owns those guys.
Whoever. Because, I mean, let's be honest, at the end of the day...
But they capitulate, right?
Like,
they capitulate to our...
Of course they do, because
so
politically correctness... Because it's not like Doomsday's going to win. Can we all, like, having not seen the movie, can we all just agree that we all know, walking into the movie, Doomsday is not going to win? Why? Because they've already announced 87 X-Men movies between now and the end of time.
Hey, I hate to break it to you, but Rocky wins in the end, Like,
hey, you know what? You go see Titanic, the boat sinks.
It's crazy.
But I feel like it's that same thing where the university students are complaining about
my safe space.
Yes, exactly. It's like just because they're you do not have a right to not be offended.
Nope.
That is not one of your rights.
And if you are, I have a right to mock you.
Right. As a matter of fact,
GFY.
I think you could really argue that being offended is good for you.
It is. Yes,
it is because it means you're being challenged.
Right.
And that's how that's supposed to work.
It's okay to be picked on. Like, these are things that happen in our lives.
It's okay to lose. Right. You don't have to have a 7th place finisher trophy.
You can't say that, Nuri. Take that back.
No, I won't.
We all get a trophy.
Oh, were you offended?
Yes.
Yes.
I did my job. Where's the bell? Bob's offended.
The bell's gone, damn it.
Oh, no, Nuri has it.
No, sweet.
So, and then I guess also on the movie front and the internet losing its mind. So the internet lost its mind because it was announced that Rogue Squadron was going back for reshoots.
Every film goes back for a reshoot.
Thank you. But the internet lost its mind because Rogue Squadron.
Just enjoy the damn movie. You're getting a Star Wars movie every year for the rest of your lives. Shut your mouths. Just for that, you should write in Jar Jar Binks into every film somehow,
As the Sith Lord.
some way, just as the plot twist.
Just a little cameo.
Right. He's the new Wilhelm Scream. It's just Jar Jar. Just to piss those people off.
Star Wars editors in the future just think it's hilarious to sneak Jar Jar into the
Totally.
episode.
He's not in this movie.
No, it's like the Disney artists that always sneak wieners into clouds and stuff. Jar Jar's the new the Disney artist. But here's the thing: like this week has been the two of the weirdest lawsuits I've ever seen. Like we always see dumb lawsuits coming up on the news, and the one that gets me, Nuri, you know more about this than I do. But the guy that sold a $40 printer on Craigslist, like in 2009, this thing still sat in court. And he had to pay like $40,000 in like fees and restitution because he got sued for having like a false Craigslist ad.
Right. So how many of you guys have sold something on Craigslist, right?
Everybody.
Oh, yeah. I actually made a really good friend this week by going to buy a bed off Craigslist. Long story. No, it was not casual encounters. Not that long a
Does
story.
it have anything to do with your new bumper sticker at all? Or?
No, it's nothing to do with the butt stuff bumper sticker.
You did pass out butt stuff bunker stickers to everyone.
You bring one for the rest of the class? Either way, this guy sold a black and white used printer through Craigslist.
Right.
Big deal, right? For $40. But basically, the person he sold it to is this like super litigious guy who is known in the legal community as a frequent lawsuit filer. So basically, the Indiana court is full of
already hating this guy.
Right, dozens of lawsuits against businesses that make no sense for astronomical charges. So first went to court for $6,000 in damages on a $40,000 printer, but the guy had no evidence because he said he threw it away. Right, sorry, I threw the evidence away.
Right.
And then basically by the time all the fees and charges and everything, this poor guy ended up with $30,000.
Well, apparently the guy didn't follow. Like he got filed against and he didn't respond. So like after 3 times of not responding, that's like impeding guilt, correct?
Oh, I don't know. Because there's
Did
some
you read
guy
the
came
whole
after
thing?
me and it's like, hey, Nuri.
Yeah, it becomes a default judgment.
Right. So this guy that filed the suit, in essence, won. And at that point, it was like up to $300,000.
Oh, my God. But, I mean, just think about it. If someone like, hey, Nuri, that cell phone case you sold me cracked. I'm going to sue you for $50. I'm ignoring that shit. I'm totally ignoring that shit.
Uh-huh.
$300,000.
And then he refiles for $250,000.
Oh, my
and
God.
you ignore it again,
Because
and then
for
you
false
lose.
practices and
Right.
deceptive ad.
Falsely advertising a malfunctioning printer with missing parts is what it said.
Which is every printer.
It just died.
And then the other one,
Oh, mother of God! I seriously, I still don't.
How does
understand
McDonald's even want to stay in business anymore?
Actually,
it seems like every year
they laid off 500 executives and the director level up this week and offered them massive buyout packages.
Because their food sucks. But here's the thing.
Hey, I still like me a Big Mac every now and
I
then.
like the ice cream cone. It's $1. It's good. Yeah.
But like, you're blind, okay? And you're blind, so you're not driving. But McDonald's offers a Braille menu, and they have like a plug-in for earphone or for like deaf, for like the. And so someone's suing. There's not enough blind options at the drive-thru.
It's
McDonald's.
It's not friendly enough to blind consumers.
Well, the problem was the guy tried to walk through the drive-thru at like
Which you can't do anyway.
10:30 at night. Right.
We all
That's
learned that in high school when we were drunk.
Wasn't it dark outside? What?
Well, he wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I actually have a really good story about this. There was
give Bob the other bell.
Yeah, there was one night at Taco Bell that I was really, really drunk, and I hopped out of the car, tried to walk to the drive-thru. They said no. I peed on the order taker. So Tampa Taco Bell in Hillsboro, I'm so sorry for doing that when I was 18.
Statute of limitations, you're good. I don't.
Why does the court system even accept these things? They're like, you look at it like, really?
Dude, I've said it a million times. There needs to be like a common sense panel, and it's got to be like an extreme conservative, a moderate conservative, regular dude off the street, moderate liberal, heavy duty liberal. And you've got to get, like, when you file a lawsuit, you've got to get at least 3 of those 5 people to go, yes, that can go through.
It's kind of like at my HOA when you have that one crabby lady that writes everybody up for like garbage an hour early, and it's like, and so they would get fines instead of having 2 people write it, because that's my biggest beef in life right now. First world problems.
Exactly.
They have HOA crap.
This has got to be the most first world.
I have a neighbor that got 16 fines for $50 a piece for having like shrubs not cut. And it's the same as this crap.
She ought to keep her bush trimmed.
We ought to have, exactly. We ought to have the panel. Can you help us make a panel?
Like I said, I think that makes perfectly logical sense.
It's like The Voice, right? 5 people sitting with their backs to you, and you basically plead your case, and they're like,
yeah,
thumbs
exactly.
up, thumbs down.
And what are we at as a society where...
I'm picturing more, what is it, America's Got Talent with the big buzzers.
Gong Show.
Oh, yeah, Gong Show. Yeah,
that's the old Family Feud buzzer. America's Got Talent stole the Family Feud buzzer. But like, how crazy are we as a society when you can't? Well, you could commit a crime. You could like not necessarily murder, but you could like rob 15 banks,
or you could rape someone behind a dumpster.
No, I was just saying if you're abnormally hot, you get to be #prison bae.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly.
Or if you go to Stanford, you get 6 months.
Right. Yeah.
Because Dad says, why should he go to prison for
20 minutes of bad decision
but like,
making?
This is the second. There was a guy who was like abnormally attractive, like inmates.
I remember that guy. Yeah.
Right. And then like now there's
he was a meme for the longest time.
But now there's a girl, and so now #prison bae.
She's totally
is
hot.
a thing. I know.
Totally hot.
But like again, have you seen her rap sheet? So like the whole thing on the internet was like, would you date this girl? Like heck yeah, I would. Like, dude, she's got like grand larceny, like fraud,
assault,
robbery,
rap sheet,
kidnapping, first-degree battery, hindering prosecution, and tampering with physical evidence.
But she's
you know what? She's a keeper because you know what? She will have your back
like
when things go south. That's who you want to help hide the bodies. But you know what? Speaking of women, we bounce this back and forth, and from the "Oh my God, I'm glad I'm not a woman" chapter 87, woman goes to American Eagle and wants to buy the same pair of shorts that she has, and she loves this pair of shorts, and they were a size 4. When she bought them 3 years ago. And so she goes to the store, and I'm sure we've all done this. Like I have a pair of jeans, pair of shorts. I walk in, I find the exact same pair, the exact same size. I walk out with it, I'm good. That's how guys shop. We like to find the pants, kill the pants, take the pants home, we're good. So she goes and she buys the size 4, and she rings and goes home. And then when she gets home, she realizes they won't go above like her ankles. And so she's like horrified. And she's like, holy shit, she's like, I haven't gained weight or anything. What the ever living hell? So she goes back to the store and exchanges them and like proceeds to try them on to make sure she gets the right size. And over the course of 3 years, and she did. She bought a pair, brought them home, laid them on top of the pair she had from 3 years ago. They are identical. What was a size 4 3 years ago is now a size 10.
What?
Wow.
It's like, as a guy size, it's like going to get a size 34, then basically, oh, nope, sorry, I'm a 42 now.
Mary, I told you, I have...
They're guy inches now.
The biggest difference is that we don't care. I
don't care what size it is.
I wouldn't care at all. They could be like, your waist used to be a 32, but now it's a 50. I'm like, cool, that's easy to remember.
I have XL. I have XL Guess. XL Guess and Structure shirts in my closet to this day. I still wear from 18 years ago that fit. And I'm remiss to even find, if I go to Banana Republic, American Eagle, to get a 3X that fits me because it's slim fit, which makes so much sense for fat guys.
Which, let's be honest, I'm not going to let you off the hook for this. The fact that you bought a 3X slim fit jacket.
I figured it would fit because it was 3X.
One of the funniest goddamn things. Dude, we're going to kill Travis with that one.
This was the coolest sport coat I ever bought, and I put it on. I'm like, I look at my wife.
Good on the rack.
No, I have to order my stuff online because I'm fat. But I put it on, and
which brings me back to slim fit.
Slim fit, right? So I tried the thing on, and I'm just totally dejected. And I look at my wife. I'm like, God damn it, fat guy in a little coat. I'm like, look at this thing. It like didn't go past my elbows, and I'm like, are you kidding me? At least I didn't die this week taking a selfie.
No,
by the way.
You did not. Unlike some of the upcoming Darwin Award nominees / winners, we had people falling off the sides of cliffs. And it's
Taj Mahal.
It climbed all the way up the Taj Mahal. Decided to take a rather risky angle photo. Fell. Head on steps. Bad news. Film at 11 dead. We had multiples that shot themselves in the face.
I kind of love that though, right? It's like
it's Darwinian evolution in motion. It truly is.
It's like, I'm gonna take a gun selfie real quick. Let me hold this up to my temple. Let me take a picture.
Absolutely.
I hope I don't use the wrong index finger.
Yeah, I'm quite sure I unloaded this before
both my index fingers move at the same time no matter
Dude,
what
my
I do.
gun safety 101 was always make sure you know it's unloaded. Open it, look through can you see it? All right, good, there's no bullets. All right, sweet.
Yeah,
It's
you see
your
daylight?
first class. It's your first class you take. Hey, what did I...
I think even then you're not supposed to put it against your head.
Dave, did we say something bad? We just got followed by the honky tonk hitman on Twitter.
Oh, no.
We better watch out when we leave the parking lot for a guy in all denim. That we wasn't done.
Were we talking wrestling and I missed it?
No, it had nothing to do with wrestling.
Did I bash Nashville?
He's a
maybe he fell off a cliff taking a selfie.
Maybe he's Prison Bay's boyfriend.
But he could be. He could be. Got a good point. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Matt Chatlin from Own the Play. This is the IT and the D show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Snyder from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Life of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. See IT in the D show.
ITintheD.com. This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D show.
Welcome back. Segment 2, episode 147.
Shut up, Randy.
The first show after our 3-year anniversary. This is the IT in the D show, broadcasting live out of the Podcast Detroit studios here in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, a.k.a. Captain Soundboard. Nuri the FNG is in the house, and he's not on business trips. This is crazy. Nuri's been here like on point for like I don't know how many shows.
It's almost like he's a part of the show now.
Yeah.
Strange.
It's only been a whole year.
You know what else we didn't talk about? We have our event.
Mark your calendars.
Next Thursday night.
The 16th, we're going to be at Hamlin Corner, right around the corner from the studio. So, of course, Dave's going to go, let's live broadcast at 10 when we're drunk.
Are you listening? Are you listening, Shimko? We're totally going to come crash the station.
It's fun when we... And
I hope that you do.
Right when you see my eyes roll, then you know it's time. We're going to be at June 16th, Thursday, 5 o'clock till Hamlin Corner. No cover, no speakers, no sales pitches, no buttholes, just good conversations with IT folks. And
who's going to be mad at you?
Who?
Dude, you just got done telling her that you were going to talk about her tonight on the show. So she probably listened to the first segment, got all angry, and turned it off.
Oh, we are very, very proud. So if you listened to the show a while back, we had Ashley Gold on from Hardcore Pawn and from PawnChickShopping.com and all that stuff. She broke off on her own. We had coffee with her at Starbucks before the show, and proud to announce that Ashley Gold, hit the slow clap, Dave. Ashley Gold is going to be part of the Podcast Detroit family. So we are bringing her show on. She's going to be recording here in bulk. So she's not going to have a weekly show, but she's going to have a weekly drop, which is phenomenal. We could not be more excited to have Ashley part of the family.
Yeah, it could be cool.
Yeah. So, hey, this segment is brought to you by our good friends at Weebly. If you have followed the show at any time and you know, I am the sales guy. I do not know how to make a website. Dave, on the other hand, is geek. He know how to make website.
Gets tired of Bob asking, build a website.
But Dave tired. You get mad at Bob. And I can't buy him enough alcohol on the planet anymore.
Nuri write all web service for Bob's website.
So I thank God for companies like Weebly. I have no idea how to code. I have no idea, but I know what I know how to do. I know how to drag and drop. I know how to type in my username and password for social media sites, and Weebly is probably one of the easiest user experiences I've ever had, making the awesome websites that I would be proud to tell people I made.
Well, and solid templates is a nice, easy to use system. Absolutely,
exactly. And we have way too many shows on this network that don't have websites because they're afraid of it.
Hidden at Judge Wink.
Exactly. And there's absolutely no reason if you want to start a website. I don't care if you're a startup photographer. You need to have home. So go to GoDaddy. Go get your .com
for $8.
Go to Weebly.com. That's WEEBLY/IT. Weebly.com/IT. Go make yourself a website. You know what? If you have I was going to be the Dave. I'll say, if you have a problem, tweet us and we will walk you. No, but don't do that because
that'll wind up in my inbox because you Dave handle this. No,
but you can honestly they have
no Twitters, no fate, no.
But you can set up online stores. You can sell stuff.
I'm sure they have help.
The cool thing is the way I did it. I brought in my Instagram feed. I brought in my podcast feed, just the code from SoundCloud. I RSS the blogs from the site, and it populates itself. It does it. So you don't have to. It's not another thing you have to do because it's done. Nice contact forms. I mean, it's clean. It's simple. Honestly, it's one of the best user experiences I've ever had. Creating something very cool that I'm proud to show off. But yeah, check them out. Weebly.com, WEEBLY.com/IT, and get started. It's cool.
Cool.
But yeah, we are joined. This is an awesome conversation because this is kind of like the first time we've gone down this route in 147 episodes and 300 plus odd guests. We have Matt Chatlin here from Own the Play, but you started off as a professional poker player. That was your job, and you are now kind of redefining the fantasy kind of online space.
And you know what I learned? Like I learned, and this was my big. It's much different. Like when you watch like Texas Hold'em. On TV, and then you go play. It's a lot harder when they don't show you the other players' cards. That's so kudos to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
But how did you come to the number that you played 6 million hands of poker? Because I think I would stop counting after like 37.
Well, you use some of that great software that you guys were talking about before. But yeah, I mean, that's really true. So I'm 33 years old now. Pretty much the entire decade in my 20s. Especially early in my 20s, I was playing the highest limits in the world. 2006 was really the first, let's say, cut by the U.S. government, which was the Unlawful Internet Gambling and Enforcement Act that really restricted people making really large deposits. From that point, though, I continued playing, and it's really documented that I won 88% of the times I sat down. So sit down in front of a computer, get up, I won 88% of those times over 6 million hands. So I love poker. I get to rightfully make the joke that
I don't even have that I don't even have that ratio on like Minesweeper.
I was trying to think of anything that I ever played online.
I don't even have half that success rate with my wife. not even close.
Strip solitaire? I don't know. Where are we going with this?
Yeah, I mean, this company never would have started if internet poker didn't become illegal in the U.S. So that's definitely true.
Thanks, regulation.
Yes, awesome. I never would have traveled to Africa if the internet poker didn't become illegal. I left the country for a few years after the U.S. government made it illegal in 2011 to continue playing internet poker. Came back in 2013, started playing a ton of daily fantasy.
Wait, let's go back. How does one say, like, okay, I can't play poker here, I'm going to Africa and setting up shop? Like, where did you find out where to go, and where did you go?
So I'm as I said, I'm 33 now. I'm this 27-year-old kid who lost 90% of his net worth and his entire livelihood overnight. I had no clue it was coming. I had no idea of what to do. So I'm sitting in my apartment, and my girlfriend at the time, she was a film producer, and she's like, "Let's just go. You have nothing holding you back from going." Thank you. That was so true. And so I left, and that was really kind of the first stop on what was like my Band on the Run tour for 2 years. I ended up landing for the most part in Point Pelee, Canada, which is the southernmost point of Canada. It's actually parallel to Chicago. It's a beautiful place. Kind of funny, guys, is no matter what is going on at Point Pelee, they will tell you to go to Jose's. So that is the number one destination for restaurants, for partying, for really anything you could ever imagine. Jose's is by far the coolest. That is a free plug for Jose's in Point Pelee. So yeah, I was there till middle of 2013. I played a tournament in the Dominican, which was the last tournament I played in, and just didn't want to continue traveling forever. Not among friends and family. I mean, I loved playing poker because so much of it had to do with freedoms and money. Now the money got cut tremendously, and the freedoms didn't exist. So it was time to kind of, at least in my head, figure out something else.
So talk to me about, I guess a good segue, talk to me about what Own the Play is and what your plans are.
Sure. So 2013 hits, I start playing a ton of daily fantasy. The prizes were definitely a lot smaller then, but I really won tournaments across every sport.
So daily fantasy being daily fantasy football tournaments, right? So instead of betting on long games or seasons, you're betting on individual plays, or explain that for folks
I'm assuming
who may
more
not
than
be
just
into it.
football.
So yeah, great. So it's almost every sport.
Yeah.
So it's every major sport.
Curling.
I'm sure one of the competitors is going to come out with curling very soon. They just came out with like Euro Soccer Second League. So
wow,
it won't end. But yeah, I mean, for my purposes, it was definitely the four majors, and then I did pretty well in college football as well. But so daily fantasy sports, it's a very
proving yet again that everybody makes money on college football except the players.
Let me dig that one too. I love
that was where the old basketball line was. Where did Shaq make his money? In college. Everybody knows that. No, but here's the thing. Like I've played those before, and I haven't even sniffed a payday. And then I start reading about it, and it's like these guys that come up with these crazy algorithms, and there's like a pool of these like people that know way more about it than anyone. Then someone follows them, and then they're on it too, and it just becomes this ugly. There's no way I can payday. I mean, is that all garbage or?
Well, I mean, you guys know how chat rooms can just take one small thread of a story, and just run wild with it, and it becomes like what the facts are. There definitely is some people.
Not on the internet.
Dude, the first time I played FanDuel, like one would be like 1 and like 99 would be the worst. I think I was 98.9.
Yeah, didn't you come in like number 44,000
out of like 44,003? Like it was I go, what? And I watch football. Are you kidding me?
You're playing with your heart.
Right.
Yes.
Started all the Lions. I was like,
So yeah, I would say, guys, let me just tell you how the game's played.
Yeah.
Very, very, very simple. So each one of us is the owner of our own franchise. We all have $50,000 to spend. Everyone has $50,000 to spend, and then every player has a preset value. So Miguel Cabrera is $5,000, Verlander is $4,900, Kinsler's $46,000, so on and so forth. You just build the best team you can while not spending more than $50,000. And that one game has built this industry from nothing to the multi-billion-dollar industry that it is today. Pretty amazing that it's only one game. That is definitely a thesis we have at Own the Play, and I'll plug Own the Play right now, that we want to be the company that creates the next game. There isn't an example in any form of gaming, entertainment, whether that's slots or, as you guys said, sluts, any casino game, any board game, any video game where you didn't see a huge success in the original game and then not multiple other successes in newer versions of that game. So Own the Play really has done a tremendous job, and I want to brag about us, in being the company that has created the fastest growing new game in the space. That game is called Whole Card, where instead of drafting one player from one team like I just described to everyone here, you're drafting the top 3 fantasy scorers from any team, no matter who they are. So conceptually, guys, we get to be in the game until the final play. Guy hits a home run in the bottom of the 9th, we would own him.
Right.
Guy gets injured, which can happen, happens very rarely, but it does. It won't affect you at the same level because you get the top 3 scorers no matter what. Last point I'll make to it, incredibly challenging for the average fan to choose between Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. Sounds like that might have been the reasons why you were finishing near the bottom, maybe. But you won't have to make that choice, as you own the top 3 players, as I said, no matter who they are. So that's kind of one example of, as you were saying, Own the Play is trying to redefine the space. We definitely see ourselves as being gaming innovators, with this example being our first.
So we had talked a little bit about the whole licensing issue that's coming up with a new bill that's making its way through or has been introduced.
Right.
So, I mean, like, we all, we read the news, we hear the stories, it's, internet gambling is illegal and, banks won't process payments and they'll refuse to allow you to make deposits and all that nonsense. So talk to me about how it looks in the state of Michigan currently. versus what it's looking like on a federal level. Because, I mean, that's, our running shtick is, oh, yeah, great. You can have your green card all you want to because marijuana is quote-unquote legal in Michigan,
right.
But it's still illegal federally. So when the DEA comes knocking on your door, it really doesn't matter if you have a green card or not. You're still screwed.
Right.
So, what is Michigan looking to do? And then, is that and then how is that looking federally, and what's the scoop?
Sure. So there is bills really across the United States right now at the state level to regulate daily fantasy. I consider these to be incredibly onerous licensing fees that really only 2 people in the space, maybe 3 if Yahoo doesn't sell themselves, to be able to afford. So companies like mine and probably 15 to 20 others are going to be looking for some other alternatives. Now, what's going on in our state, and I love our state for kind of taking the real lead in internet gaming. As I was talking to everyone here before, there is so much data out in the world now to prove kind of what is harmful and what isn't. Anyone could go to my Twitter. Matthew Chatlin is the Twitter handle. Where the National Gaming Control Board has responded to me and talked about how little daily fantasy plays in any form of problem gaming. That fact is also replayed in the UK over the last 10 years. New Jersey has regulated poker. There's been no problems with internet gaming there. So and let me back it up a little bit. There's different forms of internet gaming. I'm referring to human-to-human games. So poker, daily fantasy. We were talking about some other kind of video games that are getting more popular by the day. All of those are human-to-human games that we have data now to prove that there isn't problem gaming for. So anyways, going back to our Michigan bill, and I want to really commend the Senator Mike Cowell for proposing this bill, where Michigan gets to be a state that regulates almost all forms of internet gaming. They're charging a $5 million licensing fee that 8 casinos, assuming Michigan casinos will apply for. And I think that really gives our state the ability to lead when it comes to internet gaming. We have so much opportunity in the space. It's a $4 billion space in the UK. I can only imagine what it would be here. The CEO of William Hill, which is the largest sportsbook in Vegas, is under the impression that hundreds of billions of dollars are being bet illegally. This gives us an ability to take some of that and bring it to a fair market. And the last point I'll make to this is, a lot of what really hurt Napster, other than the government and all of that, was coming out with legal alternatives that people liked and chose that instead. This is a great opportunity for all of us to create a legal alternative.
I don't think anybody ever really came out with a legal alternative to Napster that people liked.
I like iTunes. You like iTunes?
Meh.
No. Anything.
Unless it's listening to podcasts on Podcast Detroit.
Right. Because they just randomly just start deleting your crap now. So that's a feature.
I'm stuck for a few thousand in iTunes.
It's really, really an interesting little wrinkle. So you mentioned earlier that a lot of states have passed laws that have made it really onerous to pay these licensing fees.
Correct.
And then you just said, well, Michigan is going to allow a $5 million licensing fee.
Why do I like that, right?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, let's say that you got invited.
If you're okay with $5 million, what the hell is onerous?
Well, it depends on how much money's on the table, right? If $400 billion is on the table, $5 million is nothing.
And it also depends on who's paying for it.
But if they invited you, so it sounds like you're basically for a level of regulation because you don't want it to be this illegal underground thing because that's just money thrown into a black hole somewhere. We don't know where it is. You're saying there's an opportunity here for people to build a real business behind this and everybody gets the taste of it and we
have zero chance to move forward without regulation. So that regulation is going to happen.
What do you say? Like if they invite you to come before Congress, the Senate, whatever, to say your piece of like what you think is a reasonable amount of regulation or a reasonable licensing fee.
Right. So
what's your perfect
how would I structure it? So I like what we did here in Michigan because it puts a lot of what we've already seen successful when it comes to regulation to use. To think that I'll give you kind of another example here. If you want to be a casino vendor in the state of Michigan, it's $5,000 plus whatever the attorney's fees are. Other states are charging $50,000 for a daily fantasy license. So why would I be for $5 million and not for 50? $50,000 is going to be paid by a lot of the operators, none of the casinos. We don't get any of the kind of casino successful regulation that's happened in the past. And the $50K that's going to be paid for by FanDuel, DraftKings, and potentially Yahoo. I'm not going to pay. I can't afford it. To make $50,000 in a state, just to break even, you would need $500,000 in that state in entry fees. Indiana's one state that's proposed that. There is, those three companies, max are doing that in volume.
So you're talking about at that point, so a $50K license per state.
That would be per state. And so in Michigan...
So $2.5 million?
Good math, absolutely.
Ooh.
Right. So when we're talking about $5 million, though, guys...
I'm sorry, I beat you, Mr. Sales Guy over there. Mr. Big Shot with the Cisco deals.
That's probably really a lot more than that because you're going to have attorney's fees on top of everything else.
Oh, it's so much more than that. We're also talking about auditing that'll go through into that. You got to pay for the auditors. I mean, the kind of red tape for that is endless. But if we push all of that into the experience and what's happened through casinos, it takes it away from the operator. I don't become an operator. I become a vendor. That is an entirely different style of agreement and one that I fully support. I think that daily fantasy should be, kind of this vendor-operator where we're more of a vendor.
Well, if you're attracting the eyes of local venture capital, it's apparent that this is we've either hit the infancy of this market or it's just an absolute boom. I mean, if you look at the two big brands out there right now, how do you even get in?
Well, I'd like to think that we did a tremendous job in acquiring customers. We spent less to I don't make like making those claims. I'll give you real numbers. We spent $26 to acquire a customer. Go compare us to any other company in the space. I think we beat them. My last 1,000 customers came in at $10. Again, I'll take that comparison against anyone. Our customers spent more money. From a casino perspective, velocity of money is always a very, very interesting number.
So now what is that? So, what is velocity of money?
So you as a customer, do you come in spending $5? Do you spend $500? Do you do it? How fast do you do it? It's how quick can you essentially spend?
Gotcha.
And from the casino's perspective, it's almost how fast can you lose?
Right.
From this perspective, it's how many games can I enter?
Gotcha.
I have no interest in who wins or loses ever. I just take.
No, but you care about burn rate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So guys, I hope that answered that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
No, I know we got to bump up against the break, but God, I got so much stuff to talk about.
I got so many more questions in my head. Yeah.
If you're going to hang around, we can have you back on segment 4. We love to, there's.
I want to make jokes the rest of the show.
So. Yay! So hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Travis from Source Point Press. This is the ITintheD show, and we'll be right back.
ITintheD. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to ITintheD show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD show.
Thank you for listening, and welcome back. This is segment 3, episode 147 of the ITintheD show. We are broadcasting live in our brand spanking new studios here in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. If you do not have the Podcast Detroit app, do us a favor. Go to Google Play or your Apple. What's the Apple Store called? Is that Apple Store? Or Android, or no,
Apple,
iOS market.
I don't have one.
If you have an Apple, you know. If you have an Apple's, you know where to get your apps from.
So if you have an Apple, you know where to get it.
It's called the iTunes Store.
iTunes, yay! Go get the Podcast Detroit app. You can listen to all the shows live. We have a really, really weird
and all the archives and everything else too.
Local music channel, which is like the weirdest collection of here, submit your music, and then oh my God, what did we just do?
We're still getting submissions. I just added maybe 20 new songs to it over the weekend.
If you ever wondered what Hell's Gate sounded like when you opened up the ground, this is what it sounds like. Go to
When Doves Cry.
So we have three stations right now. We're gonna have 2 more once we open up a couple more studios here. And this week, there's fun times here at Podcast Detroit. But But yeah, this segment is sponsored to us for friends at Igloo.
Yeah, Igloo. So here's the deal. So Igloo is an intranet that you're actually going to like. So it's a cloud platform that helps you share files, collaborate on documents, blog updates, coordinate calendars, and manage projects. All of the shit that makes Bob and I hate each other, or at least Bob hate me, and absolutely crazy.
Wait, do you mean so you don't have to use Google Sheets and then Microsoft
email,
Word and then email
and then text messages
and then Facebook chat
and then talk in a bar,
right?
And then notes.
And you don't remember? You don't remember what I told you?
No.
Oh,
yeah. Priority list.
Oh.
So, and here's the best part. So anyone can add content based on their permissions, obviously, with drag and drop widgets and a WYSIWYG editor. For those who don't know, WYSIWYG, what you see
what
is
did you call me?
I called you a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So Igloo also offers a variety of access, authentication, and identity services to ensure that only authorized users have access in private clouds over SSL and with 256-bit encryption. Not a bad thing. And also, unlike other solutions, you can customize Igloo to fit your needs and work with your current IT investments like Office 365, Salesforce, SharePoint, Active Directory, and file sharing solutions like Google Drive and Dropbox. So plug and drop in what you're already using into one spot to make it easy. You can even add Zendesk to keep track of or add new support tickets. So it's used by large enterprises and growing companies like User Testing, BDO, American Family Insurance, and the ATP World Tour,
and the ITintheD Show,
and the ITintheD Show. So here's the cool, and this is why it's used by the ITintheD Show. You can try it now for free at igloosoftware.com/Detroit. That's Igloo, like the Eskimos live in. IGLOO software. And if you don't know how to spell software, you should not be listening to the show. igloosoftware.com/Detroit. Try it out for free today.
And it's free for 10 users.
It is.
So that's even cool. So you got 3-person company, like we do. It's like the commercial I just saw, like, sales department, please. And the guy's sitting in the garage. He's like, hold on 1 minute. He goes, sales, can I help you? Totally, that's Podcast Detroit in a nutshell.
Yeah. It's like the conversation we were having earlier. So who's your PR department? Hi. Yeah. Who does your marketing? Hi.
Who does your social?
Hi.
We just got to yell at each other if we do it between 2 hours because apparently that's some rule. I don't know. Whatever. But hey, we got Travis hanging out here from SourcePoint Press. He's been on every single show.
No stranger to Podcast Detroit.
Yeah, he's been on every single show but ours. We're like, dude, what are you doing?
This is a fallacious argument. I've been on a couple of the other shows.
Well, and more importantly, he watched me drunkenly ride a bull.
I did
in Lansing. So
Yep.
Lansing? Yeah, it was
Yep.
Lansing. Yeah.
How did I not wear my PBR coat to that bar? Oh, did I?
You did.
I totally did.
So
That's
that one
right.
You did. Yeah.
You did.
That was
No, you forgot to wear your PBR coat to the PBR bar that
right.
we went to. Yeah.
I didn't pay for many drinks that night. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
Right.
You just did it.
No, people were handing them to me. Like, so for those first time learning about SourcePoint Press, I guess give us a nutshell what SourcePoint Press does, and then we'll go from there.
SourcePoint Press is a Michigan-based publisher of horror, occult, supernatural, mystery, pulp, comics, novels, art books, all of those sorts of things. Basically, anything that's a little bit off the mainstream of comics.
So, I mean, you obviously...
So, yeah, I was going to say, normally when people think of comics, they think, X-Men, they think Spider-Man, they think Archie and Jughead.
Right, except I don't want to compete with those guys.
Well, no, but it sounds like you're playing in a totally different genre and space.
Right, yeah. It comes down to the first thing. It comes down to what we were interested in. Me, Josh Werner, Trico Lutkins, the three founders of SourcePoint. It came down to what we liked and what we were interested in, which was pulpy stuff, B-horror movie type stuff, comics from the 90s like Hellboy and Sandman.
Okay.
So
Hellboy, very underrated, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it's true. It's hard to call something that made its creator a multi-millionaire and spawned 2 movies underrated, but
it is.
But
you go for that,
right? But it is still,
right,
because it's like
Zootopia made $1 billion.
genius.
For him to make $10 million. It's underrated.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. Hellboy's one of my all-time favorites. So you take kind of all the things that we personally liked, and then I guess sort of like a general business sense, we kind of looked at the business we wanted to be in, and what makes sense. Is there a market for the things that we liked? We thought so. Do we feel like we can pry $4 away from Batman Guy? We did not think we could, right? One thing in comics with the customer base in comics is they like things they've heard of.
Right.
They like things they've heard of. They like things that they know. And superhero comics, big two
Which
comics,
is kind of the
Marvel, DC
plot summary for The
especially.
Force Awakens as
Sure,
well. Yeah,
exactly. You have people who are fans of these characters. They're fans of these properties. They don't necessarily care always who wrote them or who drew them or any of that
Right.
stuff. They're this fan. It's really hard to break into that, and that's why in the direct market, which is a term I'll use to describe the comic book stores as distributed by Diamond Distribution, they control 75 to 80% of the market, with most of the rest of that owned by Walking Dead. So
right,
it's it's tough. It's really hard to break in to get any meaningful part of that share. So for us, it was like, well, can we do something different, and can we start marketing things like comics and graphic novels, which are becoming more of a mainstream thing, to people who are maybe not as interested in this thing. And we feel like now that we're almost 2 years in, that yeah, you can. And that, yes, those people are out there, and yes, they're interested in different types of things, and yes, they will buy them.
So, and one of the things I've noticed about, and feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, just an observation, that you were just saying that people tend to be fans of what they're fans of. Like, they're fans of Wolverine, they're fans of a particular character. SourcePoint seems to be building and growing on, I'm a fan of that particular writer. Or that particular, artist, or that particular,
Yeah, we. So for us, we want to be quality wise, and we want to be more like Image, right?
Gotcha.
Which is Image is great. They do wonderful things. They do great books. Interesting.
Image actually got me into comic books. I think.
Right.
I was
many people did.
I was never into the Spider-Man, the old school stuff. It was,
but Image is you could describe it almost as a vanity press of the stars.
Wow.
Right? You if you just sort of look down all the books that they do, you're like, that's the girl who writes Captain Marvel. That's the guy who writes Batman. That's these are all names. These are all people who bring a fan base to the table day one. Also Image doesn't pay a page rate. They often don't even pay for the print run. Right. That's all creators or their financial backers who put all that money in. So you kind of have this Image model that exists out there in the industry, and all of these other smaller press publishers all copy that. And it's all about, we're creator-owned publishing, And what that really means is that you give us your stuff, we'll slap our label on it, and then if anything sells, we'll split it 50-50. So we want
it's like a consignment shop at that point.
All right, you're like a consignment publisher. That's not what we do. We pay for production. I like to tell creators when I'm talking to them that we are not like just signing a contract with you to put your stuff out and make this happen. We are going into business with you. And so if you look at a lot of the people we've signed, people like Casey Pierce, people like Greg Wright, people like David Hayes, these are active creators. These are people who are out there.
All local, too.
All local, all Michigan people, because we're from here. And that honestly was a big thing, is all of us were self-publishing our own comics.
Right.
And part of the scene, and it started off as like, well, I think that there's strength in numbers. So let's just get together and we'll start doing this. And like, lo and behold, you have a couple things do marginally okay. And then you're like, well, what if we push more money into this?
What if we actually tried?
What if we tried and try to do this thing? And so, and then you meet all these other people, and it's astonishing in this state or in this region, really, the Midwest is kind of a hotbed for creators of comics. I mean, we have people from Ryan Stegman and Jay Fosgate who are kind of big-time Marvel guys, and Ryan Lee, who live in this state, who are working with other local creators to brand new people like the Michigan Comics Collective guys, which is an imprint of SourcePoint, which is only Michigan creators from beginning to end, which is a thing we designed to sort of be an easy first step for people to get in. Like, I want to get my first thing published. How do you do it? This is how you do it. We'll do it. We'll take care of it. We'll help you. We'll make it happen. And then after that, you've got your thing. Show us what you can do. So we almost used it as a farm team to try to then bring people up to the next level.
Gotcha.
So we really try to pitch the publisher as we're going to go into business together. And so that means that, I'm not really interested in creators who want to be like, oh, here's my thing. Isn't it great? Now distribute it and sell it and send me my royalty check twice a year. I want people who are going to come out there with me and pound the pavement and make it happen, because for us, we're a small press publisher, and on top of that, we're also a niche publisher, right? So we have to go and find our fans.
Right.
Now, one of the big pluses for this is that we're in horror. And horror fans are an entirely different animal from your run-of-the-mill comic fans.
HORROR, Dave. Just so. Just so you know. Just
so
clear.
not the building. No. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Just those fans are very similar. As well.
Also ravenous.
Also always looking for the next piece of strange underground stuff. Often covered with some kind of pox.
Right. Brought to you by the segment brought to you by Backpage.com.
Out and finds the next strange underground thing. They will put the effort in to find that stuff. So we started kind of dividing our attention from comic conventions to horror conventions, and then we started dividing our attention from comic shops to other types of retailers. Maybe like fashion type, like boutique type stores.
Okay.
Things like that to see hey, we do this kind of weird, quirky line of.
You're talking like noir leather type places, or
sure?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I'm not shy anywhere.
No, I wouldn't blame you. It's a good cross sell.
No, honey, I have to go. It's work.
What happens is you end up getting the holy grail in publishing, right? What you end up finding is the new customer,
right?
The customer who is not part of the 1.3 million or so weekly Wednesday new comic buyers who walk into a store, right? That's about how many in the United States you have, 1.3 million customers, and we're all fighting for those guys $4.
Right.
You start branching out, doing different stuff, and then doing different stuff, and at the same time trying to sell it to different people, you start finding the new customer, the person who doesn't really read comics but isn't necessarily opposed to it, who is now going to get into this, what is to them like, oh, this is a cool new way of storytelling.
Right.
And so what we found is we've been able to start building fan bases around a lot of the creators that we have. So Casey Pierce is a good example of somebody who is completely self-made, right? She sort of was just I want to do this thing. I know you guys know her. So it's easy for me to use her as an example. She's just I'm going to do this thing, and I met her at a show.
Oh, and she's gung ho.
Oh yeah, she's all in, right? She's all in. So it's easy to put money behind her project because at the end of the day, she's going to push it hard,
push it real good,
right? Indeed. And most of the guys we sign will do that. We've got Fosget's new book, the Dead Duck and Zombie Chick book. We do that, and so. We kind of started to find that we could build fan bases around these creators, as opposed to people who had a fan base based around the product that they're putting out. Where it's I write Batman, and I sell 80,000 copies of Batman a month, and maybe 5,000 of those are going to follow me to Image to buy my creator-owned book.
Right.
We're sort of building from the grassroots. We're building a fan base around a new name, a new creator. And then on top of that, a lot of those people were turning into fans of everything that we did, right? So then it wasn't just
because once the doors open,
right? It wasn't just we're into Casey stuff, or we like the Monsters title that Greg Wright does, or we like The Rot by David Hayes. They're we like everything that SourcePoint does. So just whatever you guys do, we'll buy it up. And so then we started kind of doing.
Wait, are you about to announce Source Crate?
No.
Oh my God. No, we have been involved in a few crate things. We did. There's a big horror website called Dread Central.
Yeah,
we were one of the featured comics in their March, I think. We did issues of Monstrous came out.
Don't those companies they don't pay you because you have the privilege of being in their box?
Some do and some don't. This particular one did not. The big dogs like Loot Crate, I think often does.
Okay.
Unfortunately, for a company like us, Dread Central, they want a couple thousand copies, right? We can absorb that.
Sure.
Loot Crate, they're going to want 15,000 copies. That would be.
What is it? Mitten Crate, the one that's all Michigan-based stuff.
Yeah,
I should look into that.
Absolutely.
That would be 15,000. I mean, that would be out of our reach for us to supply at no cost.
Here's some Better Made chips. Here's some some Sanders hot fudge.
Here's a
graphic
novel.
Exactly. Knock yourself out. Don't get the fudge on that.
Exactly.
It'll get ruined.
So what's the weirdest thing you ever been like the worst? I want to say worst because you can't ever be specific because someone's probably listening. But like the worst thing, like someone ever said like, "Hey, here's my comic. Will you publish me?" And it's just absolute hot garbage.
Ooh, I mean, any publisher gets a lot of hot garbage. It's
the slush pile.
Well, especially once it starts being known that you will put up production money. Like you don't have to bring a finished thing. You can. We're one of the few publishers who will look at a script. That is probably your least likely avenue to get something picked up, but it's not impossible.
Do you give advances and things like traditional publishers do, or nice?
Yeah. I mean, not on every project all the time. It depends on where it is, but you know, I don't want to talk out of turn, but like Casey got an advance on her comic, and the Sean Seal, who's the artist on that,
That's
he gets
Nora,
paid
right? Her comic.
Yep.
Steve, go on GoDaddy and see if Hot Garbage Publishing is ready. I want his table scraps.
I want that. I think probably the most annoying thing that I get all the time is people who have not done any research whatsoever into what kind of publisher we are. And so they send us things that I'm not going to be interested in no matter how good it is.
Here's my story about a cute little mouse that saves the world.
Sure, that, or most commonly, like, this is my superhero idea. These guys have these powers, and you know, it's not that I would definitely turn my nose up at anything that had powers in it, but it has to be something really different. It has to be really skewed towards
It'd have to be dark
horror,
powers.
supernatural, dark, something. It's got to be something that's really gonna work for us. But that's probably the most obnoxious thing is you get guys, and I understand where they're coming from because they're just trying to get their stuff out there,
right?
And so they just look up like what are the submission guidelines to any publisher, and then they send out 50 of them and hope for the best.
Spray and pray, salmon style.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's probably the worst thing in terms of me being irritated having to read it. But the worst thing that I have to do, I think, is and this is relatively recent. It started at the end of last year. We started getting so many submissions in that I started to have to turn down stuff that was good. And that actually, I think that people who are not in the industry hear that and they think like, oh, that's bullshit. This is a true story. This happens. There are things that I get that I think are good, that have a chance. But we have a budget and we have a schedule and we have what we can do and what we can't do.
Right.
And so like twice at the end of the year last year, I sent out letters being like, I think this is very, very good.
It's not you, it's us.
But we can't. Right. Exactly. But we can't take it. We have no room for it. We've already, you know, our first. I mean, I've signed all but maybe one or two projects through the end of 2017 already. Right. So we worked very far ahead. So it's that's one of the hardest things because you want to know that they're not going to believe you. Two, like you do want to be encouraging. Like this is good. You're on the right track. But at the same time, you almost want them to be like, but don't do anything. Just try me again in 6 months.
Right. or it's you're too pretty. There's no way I could afford taking you to dinner and drinks. I'm just going to say no right now before I have a heartache.
So I guess with that in mind, like how many titles does SourcePoint have at the moment that are out there and active?
Ones that are kind of active and coming out right now are Nora by Casey.
Got that.
Sean Seal, Monstrous by Greg Wright, and illustrator named Ken Lamug. The Rot by David C. Hayes, also by Sean Seal. Up the River, which is written by me with art by Stephen Shar. What else do we have? We've got the relaunched Jack of Spades book. We've got Scorn, Rotten Tail, which is the first thing we've signed to do a film on. That starts in late August.
Wow.
And it's incredibly stupid. It's like mind-blowingly stupid.
So it's Zootopia. It'll make $1 billion.
Exactly. I would be really happy if it pulls in like $1.8 million. But
so being filmed locally?
No, I think it's actually we're still kind of going back and forth on it. We're probably Vancouver or Puerto Rico, depending on where. There's a legit
kind of drastically different.
Well, it comes down to what the film incentives are, the city that you go to.
Yeah, Vancouver, and you get the X-Files track record.
There's a fairly significant budget has been put on this, so it's exactly like Spider-Man. If instead of a spider and a plucky child getting bitten, you have a dirty lab assistant gets bitten by a radioactive laboratory rabbit and then turns into a homicidal Easter bunny. And
Dude, this sounds so badass.
And then goes,
I'm not gonna lie.
Goes to his hometown and viciously murders all the people who were mean to him when he was in high school. That's what it is. It's really, really stupid.
That sounds like a fantastic plug for Michigan film incentives.
I would love for there to
or
be,
lack thereof anymore.
I would love for there to be Michigan film. I got a whole thing, believe me, with the Michigan film stuff. But so that's going on. We have a new book that just came out called Iktomi, which is a very much a spaghetti western, even down to the point where it's written by an Italian guy who's obsessed with the American Old West. Probably the biggest things right now are that coming out this Halloween are the comic based on the TV show Holliston, which is a TV show. It started off on FearNet, now it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
And it's done by Adam Green, who is the filmmaker who made all the Hatchet movies and Digging Up the Marrow and all of that. So we got the license from him. And then we just, a couple of days ago, finally, after almost a year of talking on the phone and going to talk to and going back and forth and doing character designs, we just signed a contract with a band from Toronto called The Creep Show, which is a really, really cool psychobilly.
How does Stephen King feel about that?
I don't know. He's probably pissed off. I guess I'll find out. If he does, believe me, I'm not going to screw around
He's
with
too
him.
busy making memes about Donald Trump. I don't think he cares anymore.
This is true.
So, that's all kind of part of our, sort of part of our thing was to be like, Creep Show really kind of fits what we're about. And we wanted to get into that different type of audience, right? Like, so people, they're really they're psychobilly, and they're all kind of, they have this whole like universal monsters kind of motif, like Dracula, Frankenstein, all that kind of stuff. And we feel like people who like your shtick, who dig your stuff,
are probably going to like the books.
They're going to like.
It's kind of like Penny Dreadful. Have you been watching that at all?
Yeah,
it's like
I love that show.
Oh my god, it's crazy good. They're
gonna dig our stuff.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of like we're trying to find these new markets. Same thing with Holliston and Adam Green. And then also develop that relationship with those filmmakers and all of that.
So you talked about people sending in scripts and that kind of stuff. So I mean, it is part of what you do. Because I know there are people that are out like there's the artists in Artist Alley that know how to draw but have no idea how to write. There are the writers out there that have couldn't draw to save their lives. I mean, is part of what SourcePoint does kind of being that network?
There are artists out there who cannot write to save their life. There are none who know that though. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we do that. We do that all the time, actually. And now one of the things that I'm doing a lot of, like some of the behind the scenes stuff that goes on is that since we started doing the Holliston book, and then some of those pages and art has been starting to get circulated amongst that crowd.
Right.
Now I'm getting other filmmakers are coming to us to be like, hey, I've got a film that's being made, or I made a film a couple of years ago and I want a graphic novel made out of it, and so we try to send them some samples from some artists that we are keen on, that we'd like to see make a page rate, and then a lot of times something that we kind of try to work out is.
So you've said that, like, what's a page rate?
Yeah, a page rate is what the artist is going to get paid to create the comic.
So it's a per page, not a per panel thing.
Usually it's a per page. We try to do per issue, if possible. Again, we're a smaller press, so we're not competing with like a Marvel or a DC level of what you're getting paid. And then even a company like IDW probably has somewhere in the range of like $150 for pencils and inks per page. We're less than that, but I'd like to think that we're somewhat competitive. With that tracers. Sometimes
I got an idea.
Depending on the project, because I have to look at a project and I have to think, okay, what do I reasonably think this is going to move? Because it has to be profitable.
There's got to be an ROI. Yeah,
right.
So unless you got some guys with hobby money that just want one for shits and giggles,
well, you got to be careful of that too. I've gotten. Oh man, I can tell you a story. I've gotten at least one big name person who sent me what was obviously their like pet project.
Right.
They wanted to make into a graphic novel. And it was this like, I was like, well, yeah, it'll cost like $30,000 to make that into a graphic novel. They're like, oh yeah, we can do that. And now I'm really stuck because I'm like, I don't want to put this is so bad.
Damn, I should have gone 50.
Yeah. This is so awful. I don't want to, it's like my chief job as editor-in-chief is to protect the brand.
So, so you're not going to sign the Adventures of Hot Carl and Dirty Sanchez anytime soon?
That sounds good, actually. I'm in.
No, we met those guys, like, what was it, 2 years ago?
At Comic-Con.
Right.
Sanchez.
Yeah, they weren't there this year. I don't know why.
It very much depends on what it is and do I think it can move, and also it depends a lot on the person. This is a new era, man. It is not enough. It used to be that if you lived around New York and you were slightly better than the worst guy, you could get a job in comics.
Right.
Now that's not the case, and now it's global. Every single person around is involved in the industry. They can get everything's Dropbox and work remotely, so you're competing with people from Costa Rica and South America and Eastern Europe, and
we have no idea what that's like being in IT.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, that makes sense. So almost exactly the same.
Well, just to segue real quick, me and Dave walk around Artist Alley all the time. We'll walk around the con just to see what everybody's doing, and there's no in between, right? You either have a Casey Pierce, Dom Riggio, who's standing up, engaged, laughing, shaking hands, telling stories. Then you got the other guys that are, picking their fingernails and looking down and sketching God knows what.
You gotta
and
try,
it's,
man.
And it's like, what do you got?
Have to try.
Why?
People are not going to buy a book if you don't ask them to.
That's what I'm saying. And I've been downright accosted to buy a book one time. Like, you want to buy this? I'm like, fine. Right. Buy my book. Right, he's like the Virgil of signing, right?
We need Lonely Dom.
Right.
Lonely Reggio.
No, his boob's never empty.
This is a great idea. To find sad pictures of Dom.
I may or may not have read after I think it wasn't Lansing. It was one of the cons we were at where Casey was. I went out and registered lonelycasey.com because I had like 4 pictures of her like at the booth all by herself, just like holding her book. And I was like, I'm like, this is totally going to happen. She was like, you know what? I'm okay with it.
Yeah, any publicity is good publicity as far as she's concerned.
Hey, we're going to bounce up against a quick break. We'll be back for the 4th segment, a.k.a. the Royal Rumble. This is the ITintheD show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hey guys, it's Ty Mogg, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the ITintheD show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD show.
Welcome back. Segment 4 of the #1 ranked technology podcast on SoundCloud. This week, this is the ITintheD show. We are at episode 147. We are recording here live in the beautiful Podcast Detroit studios in Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Kari from Detroit is Different is in the house. Find everything you need to know about us, ITintheD.com. Mark your calendars, June 16th, Hamlin Corner, third Thursday. June 16th, Hamlin Corner, third Thursday. No cover, no stupid $15, no color-coded name badges. No speakers.
No.
We're not selling your name.
No.
Just hang out with IT folks and have a drink. Or don't, like me, and enjoy your club soda and lime in a highball glass so your friends don't make fun of you. But yeah, we will see you there.
Can I get the VIP package, which gives me my first drink free if I get there by 7 o'clock?
No.
6.
No. Yeah, AM. AM. It starts at AM. We'll see you there. Well, we'd like to thank our sponsors tonight, Atlassian, Weebly, and Eagaloo. We will have some on the deals page on the ITintheD. We will post up the links and appreciate their support.
So, 2 semi-relay internet losing their minds.
Can we talk about Chewbacca Mom more?
No, let's not.
Damn it.
No, but I will. So there are no charges being filed against the parents in the gorilla death. Down in Cleveland. The prosecutor announced that today.
We're not going to get justice for Harambe?
Well, so here's the funny thing.
Why would they file charges against the parents?
No, exactly. And, by the way, they've already radically... So the enclosure's been closed. And they have since made a significant number of changes. They've raised the fencing around it.
42 inches now, right?
They've put mesh in those fences.
One person gets hit with a hockey puck in the mouth on a slap shot.
I got to deal with
and now there's a net for the rest of our lives. Right?
Exactly. That's where we are. And then actually, John Oliver did a very cool and yet very scary thing. I don't know if you caught this or not. So,
I absolutely did. I don't know what to think about it.
It's cool. So he decided he wanted to prove how ridiculous the debt collection industry was. So for $50, he filed the paperwork necessary to become a debt collection agency.
How much?
$50 to become a debt collection agency. And within hours, he was offered buying $15 million in medical debt for $60,000.
Wait, so
which
those assholes who call over and over again basically
which he bought.
For pennies on the dollar.
So he bought $60,000. For $60,000, he got $15 million in medical debt.
Gross.
Just so he could talk about it on the show and basically saying, okay, so for this $60,000, had I gone ahead with it's like he bought it, and he's like, and they were going to send me files and records and people's social security numbers and their credit histories and da-da-da-da-da. I told him I didn't want it. He literally took that debt and turned it all over to a nonprofit that just handles the forgiveness of all that debt.
He hit a big red button.
And hit the big red button. So it was like, because he wanted to outdo Oprah. Because Oprah's you get a car was like $8 million. So he's like, you get no debt and you get no debt, and it was $15 million.
So wait, do the people have to pay taxes on that like Oprah car people did?
Debt forgiveness? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah. But for $50, it sounds like you got a lot of Social Security numbers.
$50 plus the $60,000 to buy the debt.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I mean, the big thing that the real takeaway from that whole thing, which I thought was awesome, and I love John Oliver, was that so you buy a house, right, for $100,000.
Yep.
And then let's say you pay half of it. And so that means you've paid, let's say, $80,000, and you've paid $50,000 of your principal off. So you owe $50,000, even though they've technically really.
That's why you never read that last piece of paper in the mortgage package.
And then you default. You lose your job. They take your house away. You declare bankruptcy. They take the amount that you still owe them plus whatever their financing charge would have been.
Right.
And they write all that off.
Yep.
Right. So they write all that off.
And yet still
can then turn around and then sell it to another debt. I mean, the part of this that's kind of sickening is that the money is being made over and over and over and over again, and the only person who continues to get screwed is the poor sap who probably wanted to pay their bills in the first place.
Well, I mean, it's like, so there was a story that came out about the guy that took out, I think it was like maybe $1,200 or $1,300 in payday loans, and literally wound up paying more than $50,000.
Oh my God!
In finance charges and service fees.
Dave, you remember that when I did
to pay it off?
The the Native American loan company.
Oh, it was Western Sky.
Thank you. Yeah. And I did the math, and they said like $10,000, and you have to monthly payments of like $700 for like 15 years. So I'm like, I got a calculator on my phone, and it worked out to $10,000, and you had to pay back like $78,000. And they're not around anymore. Are they gone now?
No, I think there were a couple of lawsuits that happened, and they went bye-bye.
Well, it's no different than the stinking rent-to-own places.
Oh, yeah, you too can have, the latest iPhone for $9,000.
Right, and a couch and a TV for the Super Bowl that you're going to pay off in 2022 for $13,000.
It just boggles my mind that you can buy so much debt for so little. If you follow that math down, $10,000 can buy you $2.5 million of debt.
I think that's been written off already by said, so now you have a company that's selling a database in essence for, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just guesstimating.
It was live debt.
They're selling it, but they're selling you the ability to call and harass people to try to get them to make payments.
And all those companies that have had that debt have written it off.
Right. Oh yeah, totally.
And that's exactly what John Oliver's trying to point out.
Right.
And what's interesting about that,
these companies are claiming a loss, and then they're turning around and making it not a loss anymore. Like it's either a loss or it's not.
So right. They sell it to debt collectors, and then according to the ACA, which is the Association of Collections Professionals, that medical debt gets collected at 21.8%. So basically, of all those calls they make, they're getting a 21% return on what they bought.
Good
so
God.
Using my example of $10,000 to buy $2.5 million, I make $525,000 on that transaction on average.
You're in the wrong business.
But you
We're
lose
all
your,
in the wrong.
But you lose your soul.
Yes.
You have to get out of podcasting now.
Right.
It's such a shithole industry. I actually worked in collections for about 6 months for one of the largest collections companies in the world.
There's 2 people in the network here that do that every day, all day.
The vice president of technology, so we ran that shitty dialer. It was, oh yeah.
But you got to think about the predatory lending practices that exist. You're generally taking advantage of a lot of people that don't know anything about finance. I mean,
this is healthcare. This is like you get sick, you run into the hospital, you don't realize that glass of ice is going to cost you $250 because you were choking on a piece of candy, right?
Well, over 60% of bankruptcies in the United States are from medical bills.
Yes.
My credit just dropped 100 points, and I found out why. When my kid went to ER, whatever the bill came, we paid it, but there was another one that came that looked like this is not a bill thing, when you get and I didn't pay it, and then I got a phone call, and I'm like, they're calling from some weird company. And I'm like, there's no way I'm giving you my information.
I don't know you. Yeah, no.
Right. After all the crap I've gone through.
Yeah, no,
with my
you send it to me in writing, and I'll take a look at it.
Or I'll give it, I'm not giving you any of my nothing. You get none of my things.
The butt stuff?
Right, exactly. And then I got a 120 point hit on my credit.
Ouch.
Dude.
In a matter of 2 weeks.
It's a good thing you already have all your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need anything, so screw you. But again, it's imagine if like Kari was saying, if you're not on top of it. I remember when we bought our house, it was like we did the whole zero down BS. You did the whatchamacallit, the 0%, not the 0%,
we bought it on a land contract.
Land contract. Thank you. But we all get caught up in this, and I follow my shit meticulously, and I got caught up in all the 0% crap with the Affordable Home Act or whatever.
And then there's so many ways that you can easily get caught up with it, especially when these industries exist that are specifically targeted to take advantage of this whole game, because it's almost like 3 tiers of the lenders. So it's like the person you owe money to first, then they sell it to rank 2, then they probably sell it to rank 3, then they sell it to rank 4, depending upon how old the debt is. It'll cost more, and basically it's an industry that exists. We know it exists, and how you fight it. Do you want to call those one of those attorneys that say, "Hey, this is what I do. I specialize in helping you fight debt." So it's like, do you really?
Well, you want to learn how to social
write it off again. Every time they write it off again. Yeah. So every time, all of us are subsidizing these companies' existence.
You want a social engineer? Say you're with J.P. Morgan or J.P. Finance debt collection, and you were at the hospital in 2015, which everybody probably has been once in your family.
It's like the John Edwards cold reading.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got a family member who died recently. Yeah. Yes, my dad died.
I'm sensing someone who's sad.
Can you please, for identity reasons, can you please confirm your address and social security number, please? How many? You're going to get a 30% take rate on that?
Yeah.
And you wonder why so many, why it's a $6 billion industry, the whole
IT guys.
Yeah, I know, stupid IT.
IT guys. Speaking of IT and potentially scary ass systems, so the EFF has got a
EF Hutton.
No, EFF.
Oh, I was going to listen if you were to EF Hutton.
No, it has a whole thing going now because the FBI, they found out, is doing basically a tattoo recognition system database. And then starting to draw correlations between, if you have a cross tattoo, then odds are it's almost like an Amazon thing. Like if you have a cross tattoo, you're most likely affiliated with these groups and have these friends.
If you have a swastika, you'll most likely be affiliated. What?
Totally. So that's what's kind of freaking them out.
So what if you have a tattoo of Tasmanian devil on your calf? You're going to be profiled.
You're a frat boy.
Exactly.
You are probably associated with douchebags.
You probably also have a tribal armband tattoo.
You're in the DB posse.
You work in the service industry.
Odds are good you have frosted tips and highlights.
What's wrong with frosted tips?
But no, I mean that's one of those things where to some degree it's already out there in the prison system because they have that whole cataloging system for tattoos and everything. But this was open public. They
don't they have full facial going on, recognition too? Not like
casinos.
RoboCop taught us the ways. When they found Clarence Boddicker. I mean, it's just only a matter of when.
And that was in the 80s, man.
It was in the 80s. Why is not the new PAL Stadium at Tiger Stadium? Why is RoboCop statue not going up on the corner of Michigan and Trumbull on that? Give me the God. No, I would say give me the Godfather. No, but seriously, how do you not put up a PAL Stadium at Tiger Stadium and not put RoboCop on that damn corner? And now you can have your own version of Rocky Balboa in Philly.
I thought they did decide to do that.
It's nowhere. It's like the $50,000 project from hell. It's sitting in some warehouse.
Is that all they want?
I think no. That was originally. I think it was $60,000. We had the whole show on that.
Oh yeah, because Jared went out and found the guy.
Right.
Because, we made Jared go find the guy.
Right, exactly.
Find that robot sculptor.
Well, no, so the whole thing, it was like, so basically they vastly underestimated what it was going to take to make.
And they made it out of copper.
And then they made bronze. And then they made it wrong. They actually made it, 1.5 times or 1 1/3 times. It was a third bigger than it was supposed to be. Because of some of the initial molds. The guy, it's one of those, the guy's still working on it in his free time as things,
but
as
it
he
can
has
still
time.
happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a work in progress, apparently.
Write a letter to Dugan.
Mike,
it's possible this might be one of those things that the rest of the world looks at and thinks is kind of stupid.
Hey, we all took pictures in front of the Rocky Balboa statue in the Art Museum in Philly. Nothing is stupid. And they're like, Liberty Bell? Kiss my ass. Rocky Balboa? Hell yes. That's the nature of this country these days. I don't give a shit where Ben Franklin signed what. I want a picture next to Balboa.
Oh, my Yo Adrian moment.
Rocky won an Oscar. We're talking about RoboCop here.
And I want to walk to the top of the steps, not run because I can't, and yell Drago as loud as I can. If I want to do it, goddammit, I'm going to do it.
Okay, now, are you one of those people that would actually take a picture of any of the Hollywood stars, though?
No.
Okay, all right.
Not unless it was like Carrot Top or like Weird Al. Otherwise, forget it.
I don't think either.
Does Carrot Top have a star?
Yeah, he better.
I think he does.
Weird Al.
Yeah, I think he does.
He should. Like, if it's something really stupid, like Ronald McDonald or something, I'm totally taking but it was like Sinatra, Elvis, I don't care. Art Mooney from Ford Fairlane. If I see Art Mooney, I'm taking a picture of that. The third CD in Ford Fairlane. That's the best. No, I don't care about, I've been going to, the Planet Hollywoods. I don't give a shit. Hard Rock Cafe. Oh, there's Angus Young's guitar. Who cares? What do you got on tap? That's where I'm at.
In my $19 souvenir glass.
Thank you. Then I'll forget it at home. It's plastic, and then all the logo rubs off in 2 washes. Kiss my ass.
If it's a committee, could you rescind your star if Carrot Top has a star? If you're. If you are Sinatra's family, can you be like, look?
Yeah, he's been there for huge years, right?
Yeah, he was a top performer at one point in Vegas.
I mean, but
I am telling you, it's Carrot Top, but yeah.
I saw him in Daytona Beach in '91 before the Marky Mark and Right Said Fred concert on the beach doing stand-up. That was I was there.
Hold on.
Okay, how many songs did Right Said Fred perform?
1.
And then Marky Mark came up and did 1. And then Right Said Fred came back up and did the same song.
No, it was just those.
Oh wait, no. Then Carrot Top came up and
I just remember
again.
It was 2 songs. And when Right Said Fred came out after Good Vibrations, I marked out. I'm like, holy shit, it's Right Said Fred. And I think
said no one ever.
And then I was standing next to Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, and Cypress Hill was in the crowd. It was surreal. That was
were you at MTV Beach?
Yeah, I was at the MTV the next door to the MTV house. That was the time I woke up at 10 in the morning. We were out all night till but I woke up at 10 because I knew there was going to be the Miss Hawaiian Tropic contest next door at the White Hall. So I'm getting up, and the guy's like, I'm sleeping. I'm like, kiss my ass, I'm going by myself. So I got my Oakleys on my backwards white Fordham University baseball cap. I'll never, F you, right? Haha, I'm funny. And out comes this just ginormous human being. Biggest head, largest man I've ever seen in my life.
You realize it was a mirror?
Exactly. Dude, no, it was bigger than my head. I'm like, holy shit, who is this man? There's a camera, and all of a sudden he stops right in front of me, turns around. It's MF O.J. Simpson. He's the host of the Miss Hawaiian Tropic. So here I am over his shoulder.
So, say, hey, Juice, cut to the chase. Let's get this rolling.
It was pre all this stuff. He was still doing Hertz commercials back in 91.
Okay, and I've heard this before from 3 other people that O.J. Simpson's head is big as
He's
hell.
a giant man. I'm talking Like it was like Andre the Giant, like coming down the aisle. He was huge. And dude, I'm 6'3". Back then, I was probably I wasn't as fat as I am now.
But it was all right. Wait. So this is the 90s.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson stopped playing football in the 70s. Why was he hosting the
Miss Hawaiian Tropic?
It's OJ
for the tail, man. Yeah.
He was in all those Naked Gun movies, and he was.
But I mean, they couldn't get like they couldn't get Pauly Shore. Or,
all I know
because he's the Weasel.
All I know is it's like 94 now, and I'm watching USA Up all night, and like there's internet guides and all that. They're like next coming up,
Rhonda chick. What the hell is it
Rhonda Shear, man. Rhonda Shear and Gilbert Gottfried.
Screw me for remembering that.
But like all of a sudden, they're like, now we're gonna replay the Miss Hawaiian Tropic 1991 kind. I'm like, it can't be the one I was at. And sure as shit, here's Juice, and then you hear this dopey kid with a backwards baseball cap and Oakley's. Dude, I scrambled through the VHS collection, and they're like, "Can I tape over Police Academy?" Shit, no. Can I tape over like all these dumb movies? Like we got taped, and I had no blanks. Like, and
the answer was no.
And I have no, and it's not on YouTube.
You didn't hit Police Academy 4 and go, all right.
No, it's not on YouTube. That was the night we went to some nightclub, and it was like Basic Instinct, where they were in that like neon night. It was like, I think it was the same place. It looked just like it. Okay. And here I am just dancing, like I'm drinking like wine coolers because it's the only bartender that would serve me. I was 18, and here comes Pauly Shore and Gerardo. Dude, this whole weekend it was the weirdest week. And I got
Rico Suave,
Rico
too?
like 2 feet from me, and then I got so
like everyone.
I got so
from the
I got so shit faced on wine coolers. I walked home. So my buddies find me walking down the
weird toilet vortex.
Totally.
Of the 90s.
They find me walking on the A1A alone.
Detroit Avenue?
Yeah. And I'm carrying like 6 bags of food. I kept buying food, but I never ate anything. So they're like, and I didn't know which hotel we were staying at. I forgot the name. So I'm telling everybody, asking everybody, where's the place next to the thing? And like, so finally someone goes, I found Bob. And then like, I find out I hit a girl in my Mustang, and I had no recollection of this.
Was she hot?
No, I have no idea.
And suddenly this just took a felonious turn.
That's limitations.
I'm wanted for murder, so
no, the guy
also, we can never go to Florida.
Statute of limitations.
No, totally. I have 180 days. No, but he's like, you were on this strip. And he goes, like, the guy that I went to spring break with ran into Tad at. He's an engineer at Ford. He goes, did Bob Wright tell you he hit a girl in his Mustang and he popped second gear and he didn't see her and he hit. I go, I don't remember that shit. Like, I remember doing a 2-story bong from the hillbillies upstairs, but I have no idea.
This is why
we all have our priorities, right?
Right.
That's why there's so many Florida man stories, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't make And the worst thing about this whole goddamn trip is I forgot my tape case, so I only had I had 3 cassettes for the whole week, and there's no crap radio down there. So I had Cypress Hill, Metallica Black,
and Ace of Base,
and like a mixtape with like
Gerardo.
No, not so. No, with like Alice in Chains and like shit, like a mixtape Aaron made. Like that's all we had. So like literally, it was every time we drove, and you could drive on the beach. So we would take the sunroof out of the Mustang, and one guy would stand up like Fagga Beefy style, right? And all we played was how I could just kill a man, like on repeat, and driving up and down the stupid sandy beach. It was the worst, best. Yeah, I wish I had a GoPro in my head for this entire weekend. It was freaking surreal. I'm done talking. Hit the off button on this son of a bitch.
You could probably make a mini series off of just this whole weekend exchange.
Yeah,
and all of those people from that was like 90s era.
Because honestly, most of them aren't doing anything.
Hell no.
OJ is a little wrapped up,
right?
But everybody else, a lot of free time. It'd be like the I don't know, Fast Times at Bob Mont High.
Who's there was
we'll cast you to play you, and we'll just ignore the fact that you're 25 years old.
Oh yeah,
it'll be this meta joke.
Back to the Future, and it's the
all your
old
friends
man
are played by like 22-year-olds, but you're played by you.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
It's old Biff as Biff.
I was there was for some reason,
like,
he looked
halfway through the scenes. You're like, you want me to do what? Oh, hell no.
There was one of the guys from like the '89 U of M team was there. He was playing for the Miami Heat, and like I recognized him from playing for U of M. And I was at the Gary Grant basketball camp. And I told him I was at the camp, and I saw him, and we sat and talked for 2 hours. Seriously, the people you run into is the weirdest thing. Ed Lover was 6'9", just again giant human being. Dr. Dre is 489 pounds, naked.
And you know this for a fact?
Oh man, but when Marky Mark came out, dude, and then said, honest to God, that was probably one of the better how did this start anyway? Oh, Carrot Top gets a star in Hollywood.
You just got to wind Bob up and let him go for a while. It's
because of the damn rant that I did 2 years ago that you still keep a clip of. How I want self-driving cars mixed with Amazon delivery, but no human interaction. And just for little things, don't give me the 3 cases of diapers and toilet paper and laundry and crap. I want a sandwich and a bag of chips and a vitamin water, and I want a Google car bringing it to my house. And I went on a 20-minute just screaming about how make this happen in America.
You want a service that completely exists.
Right.
You just don't want to have to deal with a delivery person.
Right. No. Don't talk to me.
Google car comes to house, drone comes out, opens door, brings product in, swipe card on.
No, I don't have to swipe card anymore because you can pay on the app now because we weren't paying on apps back then.
Sounds like this sounds like something you could do.
Right. Yeah. The drone will have a little bag of your Jimmy, screw Jimmy John's coming up. No, just drone drop.
Introverts.us.
But I like people
is that registered?
When I'm hungry, I don't like to talk to humans.
I know. And you know what? The drone, I should have a button to open up my front door and the drone should bring it to my couch.
We wouldn't have to tip anymore.
No, I know. Well, I tip the maker of the drone or whoever programmed my address, and I don't mind giving him a couple bucks.
Drone maker.
It's for saving me the trouble of having to deal with people.
Jimmy John's here. I'll chip in for your rent. Here's $2.
There's
Thank
a guy in the back of every sandwich shop now with remote controls.
I mean, it's not much.
No, you just got to plug in the GPS. He doesn't remote control shit.
Flying a drone through Bob's house looking to drop off.
There's going to be 13 sandwiches in my gutter on the roof.
Because you're going to get drunk and keep ordering sandwiches.
My sandwiches in here. Damn GPS dropped it on the roof.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Or even worse, you'll get drunk and start skeet shooting for prizes.
Oh, that'd be great. If I saw the big A Amazon logo, I would totally pull out my 12 gauge. I'm a good shot, too. Let's see what I got this time. God damn it, another tablet. I'm sick of these.
For the love of God, let's bring this to an end.
I'm sober, too. I haven't had a beer all day.
I know, that's the worst part. Or possibly the best part. I'm not quite sure. All right, so again, thank you to our guests for joining us. Before we get out of here, Matt, where do we find you and all the fun stuff you have going on in the internet gaming space?
Yeah, so we're hoping to bring as many products as we can to any casino around you. So I would say stay tuned to that. I can be found at Matthew Chatlin on Twitter or on LinkedIn, and I'm very approachable.
Cool.
There we go.
And he likes long walks on the beach and pina coladas.
I did that for you. I wanted to throw that out for you.
Caught in the rain. All right, so Travis, where do we find SourcePoint Press and all the cool titles you guys have out there?
We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on all the usual places. You can go to www.sourcepointpress.com. We have an online store. You can get anything that we have. Usually we will self-release our titles even before we release them out to shops. So you can almost always order stuff early if you order it directly from us. For me personally, I'm on Twitter at TMcIntyre1. If anybody ever wants to send me a question about publishing or send me advice about publishing.
How about
maybe?
scripts?
No. Or scripts. Yeah, anything like that. We are always looking.
Cool. All right, and then Kari's out at DetroitisDifferent.com.
We're doing the Bob and Dave Bluntman and Chronic. We just got to come up with a name. Just to let hear him say no, it's stupid.
Give me a few, yeah.
Well, it being stupid doesn't necessarily... That's not the part that gets a no. We got stupid stuff.
Right.
I was like, did you miss the movie thing that he was...
Yeah, that thing did really well, and it's super stupid.
All right, so hey, and don't forget to join us next Thursday night, third Thursday the 16th, over at Hamlin Corner. It's right around the corner. Yes, at some point in time, I will probably make the announcement that we should come over here and crash the studio, so we'll see how that goes.
Wait till see Bob's eyes roll, and then it's just bad
then
things.
It's go time.
Yeah. We're not recording live at midnight.
We're never in.
It's been episode 147. Stop talking, Dave. Finish up your drinks.
You're not my supervisor.
Finish up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy. I need to run. Run.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
就on the cheese.
Bear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Yeah. Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the ITintheD Show.